Yeah, Denika. So again, I just started at the beginning of your story. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised, I was born in Oklahoma and raised in Florida, Louisiana, mainly Alaska for the last 16 years of my life. We kind of moved around a lot. And then, I moved there I moved here when I was like 25 and lived here for about 3 years, and then I went back home to Alaska. I always return home. Never forget the island life.
So you consider Alaska your home?
I grew up in Sitka, Alaska. It's a beautiful little island on the southeast side. It's kind of like paradise there.
Well, tell me about your home life. Did you have siblings or?
It was just me and my mom and her boyfriend mainly. My sisters grew up with my grandmother. And then the island, it's 17 miles long, so you can walk anywhere. And usually you can find your kid on any side of the block within 17-mile radius all the way. And so anytime mom was looking for me, all she had to do was just tell somebody or call the radio station. You'd always hear her parents, "I'm looking for my child, they need to come home," and stuff like that.
Well, I'm curious, how come your sisters didn't live with you and your mom?
They had health issues.
Oh, gotcha.
And when they were born, they had some serious health issues, both of them did. And so my grandparents were military, and they had better health coverage back then. My sisters were born in like 79 and 81, I believe. And so...
Are they younger or older?
They're way older.
Gotcha.
I was born in 89.
Got it.
But it was just easier. It was not easier, but it was more beneficial for their health-wise,
Right.
for them to be with my grandparents. And mom stuck around when my grandparents had them for the most part. She'd always visit, or she'd be around, so that they knew she was still there and stuff. But I was supposed to be adopted when I was born too, but that ended up not going through. My aunts were supposed to adopt me. We kind of bounced around a lot and whatnot. And then I ended up in treatment for 2.5 years when I was 14 until I was almost 18.
Treatment for, what do you mean treatment? What does that mean?
I was just a juvenile. I was mad at my mom. I was mad at the world. And I used to skip school. I skipped school for 6 months straight before they realized I was doing it, or got a hold of my mom. So I figured out how to forward herself. She was so mad at me that day. But CPS realized that my household was not stable, and my stepdad had been taken by the feds to prison, and my mom wasn't really around at that point. So they came in at like 5:30 in the morning and took me to Sharon, Utah.
When you were 14?
When I was 14.
What was that like?
That was
sounds
hell.
Gnarly.
I was sicker than a dog half the time, and it was in a really abusive treatment center. They actually ended up getting shut down when I was leaving. The state ended up doing an investigation after 3 of us ended up in the hospital with broken bones and really sick and emaciated. And I went from 150 pounds to 100 pounds in 2 weeks. And so they got shut down for all that. It was really nice to leave there.
So you were there from 14 to 18, you said?
I was there from 14 till the day of my 17th birthday.
I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah, it was a really long time. It was a really long
Yeah,
time.
that's like all of your teenage years, a lot of that.
Yeah. Me and mom got into a fight in the middle of the school, and they decided that my house was not stable and we probably didn't belong together.
Oh, so your mom came and visited you?
No, my mom and I were at my school in Sitka, and they got really upset with me. Or they got upset with us because mom put her hands on me and I put my hands on my mom.
Oh.
So they called CPS, and that's how I ended up in treatment.
Oh, I see. That was kind of the catalyst.
Yeah, that was the deal breaker.
Gotcha, I see.
And then I moved up here when I was about 25, and I stayed here for a few years. And then I went back home.
Well, where's the gap? Like, so when you're 17, you're out of there, and where do you go?
I went to Texas for 4 years. We were stationed at Fort Bliss, me and my ex-husband.
Okay.
And he cheated on me while I was pregnant. And then after I had my daughter, I left him, and I came back home. And I had my twins and my daughter. And That was good times. My boys are amazing. My daughter's amazing.
Yeah, tell me about them.
They're amazing kids. My daughter does roller derby. She loves that shit. She's like my little twin. And my son, he's so musically talented. My oldest son, Damien, he's very musically talented. He can play about 6 different instruments when he wants to. But I've never seen a kid that can play that many instruments, though. And
you said 2 twin boys.
I have twin boys. They're 15.
And one daughter.
And one daughter who's 14.
And where are they?
They're with my family.
Gotcha.
My ex-husband got sentenced to life in prison about 3 years ago, sorry.
Wow.
And I have to jump through the hoops because they deemed him unstable and a danger to be around kids, so I had to go through a whole process and file for divorce and everything else to prove to them that I wanted my children and that I was not going to have them back in my life. And they have made it hell. Drugs are a really dangerous thing, and they will make people do some of the dumbest shit and cost them everything. And it cost us a 12-year marriage and cost him life in prison. It was really fucked up. And so my kids went to stay with my family while I dealt with it.
Are they in Alaska or in
They're
Texas?
They're here.
Oh, they're here. Gotcha.
And that's why I'm down here. I was extradited down here on a bench warrant that I didn't even know I had from 6 years ago, 5 years ago actually, and ended up on DOC while I was dealing with some other charges and getting them dropped in Oregon. And so Oregon and Washington were kind of bouncing back and forth, and if I didn't go when they wanted me to go back there, I faced getting arrested. If I didn't come back here when they said so, I faced getting arrested. And so I was like, I have an attorney for a reason. I was like, but this is a circle jerk. I was like, if I don't jump when you say jump, I was like, I feel like you guys are playing a tug of war. And I'd go back and forth every time they asked and do my court stuff. And then I'd come back here, do my court stuff. So I was placed on DOC and enhanced CCAP for 18 months and UAs and everything else. And I completed that and I got my certifications. And then got harassed by the cops because they wanted to tell me I did not complete my DOC, and I have my graduation paperwork and everything. I can prove it. And for 2 weeks straight, they tried to detain me. And I mean, they literally, every time night shift came on shift, they would detain me and put me in handcuffs and run my name and call Oregon. And they would do the whole thing, and I'd have to do it for every night. It was so embarrassing and humiliating.
Well, I'm a little confused. What is DOC?
Department of Corrections. It's probation.
Okay,
Supervised
gotcha.
probation.
And then so when they were doing this to you, where were you living?
I was living at a halfway house
Gotcha.
in Everett.
Oh, gotcha.
That's when I was extradited up here. I lived at Highland Solutions LLC. I was an assistant manager there. I helped detox people and get people back into treatment or get them stable and into meetings and stuff.
Gotcha.
And then I met Sean, and the people that were managing the place actually ended up being really shady. And they already stole some money from us. We found out they were doing drugs while they were saying they were sober and sneaking out to the casino at night. It was a money laundering scheme.
Sounds like a mess.
And it's sad because the lady that runs it is an amazing woman. She's done a lot for people over the years. She used to do ballroom dancing for the Special Olympics. It was really cool. And I've always thought very highly of that woman, and it's really sad somebody took advantage of her like that because she does a lot for the people that live in her houses.
Well, did she know what was going on, or she?
No.
Oh, gotcha.
Maribel trusted them to be there for the people that were under their care and supervision at the apartments, and they decided to take advantage of that and manipulate and steal and lie about everything, all the way down to their drug use. And it actually messed a lot of people up. They had a few of us went out and relapsed, which was stupid on a lot of our parts. And then a lot of people wouldn't stay there anymore unless they were gone and things were fixed.
Yeah. How long ago was this?
That was about 5 years ago.
So after that,
And then they thought it was okay to tamper with people's relationships. After that, Sean and I came out here because we didn't have anywhere to go, and his mom had another RV, and we were staying in our RV, and everything was fine. And I think Sean was sick and in the hospital, and I was at the hospital with them, and when we came home, I had gotten a message from our neighbors all of a sudden that not to freak out. They did everything they could. They even offered the tow company $100 to put it down. They told him we were at the hospital and everything, and they told him how sick my husband was. He's got blood clots in his lungs and his legs, and it's the most I've ever seen in a human living body. It's actually really scary. And so we were at the hospital, and they said that they weren't going to put the RV down. They were taking it because it wasn't parked properly. We were parked like this, and we were parked like this, and we had to be parked at an angle. And he decided that he towed like 6 RVs, I guess, that day from there. And ours was one of them. And they were like, it's like a third of a degree that they need to move. I was like, there's no reason why we can't do that while they're at the hospital instead of you taking their home and everything they own. And the guy wouldn't compromise or anything, and so
And how much is it to get like your RV out of there?
By the time we got home from the hospital and to get our RV out, it was already over $3,000.
Because it's just days. Each day it just adds up and adds up and adds up and adds up.
You know, and there's fine after fee, and it's ridiculous.
And that's your home.
Yeah,
And
that's our
so
belongings, our homes, everything. My family heirlooms were in there. Like, we had a lot of stuff in there. My kids' family heirlooms were in there. Like, you can't get those things back. You can't replace them.
That's right.
And they don't auction off the RVs anymore. They just crush them.
Oh, wow.
So you don't even get a chance to try to get your RV back.
Wow.
Because it used to be you could go to auction and try to buy your RV back, your home back. So at least you can get some of your stuff back what the workers at the tow yard didn't take themselves.
Yeah.
Which is appalling.
That is messed up. Sorry that happened.
And then we ended up with another RV, and Sean got shot down at Gasworks because he got caught in a drive-by. We were trying to get in the car and get out of there, and he went the wrong way to go get in the driver's seat. And when he went around the back of the car, he got hit in the calf. And all I remember is Sean hadn't gotten in the car yet. And I was like, Sean, where are you? I was like, why aren't you in the car? And I couldn't hear him screaming. And there was blood everywhere, but he ended up getting a bullet to his calf trying to get away from there. And they towed our RV again while we were at the hospital. And we had somebody literally watching our RV. They were sitting in the car, and they were like, dude, he just got shot. He needs somewhere to go when he gets out. And they were like, well, get a hotel room or get a tiny home. And we've tried and we've tried and we've begged and we pleaded and we call every day like we're supposed to. And they've offered us one once after he got shot, and it was in a really violent neighborhood. And there had just been a shooting in front of it that morning. And we weren't taking that. I wasn't going to risk us getting hurt again.
And so that RV is gone. So then what do you do?
So we ended up with another one.
Gotcha.
A friend of ours gave it to us. They gifted it to us. And we had been in Magnolia. We move around, like, for a while there, it was every 3 days, like clockwork.
Yeah.
And they were up our butts. And then COVID happened. And we became stationary for the most part,
Right.
thank God.
Right.
And we were in Magnolia. And Magnolia's got their own little people that take care of problems over there.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
I don't know, like, there's rumors that there's a group of people that take care of their own problems. Anybody that wants to steal their cars or park their RVs over there and won't leave. We had somebody set our RV on fire. Mom's RV, actually. They threw a burning garbage bag in the middle of a bunch of propane tanks, and if Mom and I wouldn't have heard it when they threw it for some reason, something hit that was hard and we heard it, and me and Mom came running out the RV. And I'm glad we did, because we would have blew up in that RV.
So do you think it's like housed people that are just kind of...
We heard it's like a neighborhood watch group almost gone rogue, or people that are just sick of the riffraff. Just because some people are messed up on the streets and they do shitty things no matter what an addiction, like everybody's gonna fuck up eventually and steal something, or they're gonna do something grimy. But not everybody on the streets are fucked up.
Right.
Like some of us didn't want to be here. None of us actually want to be here.
Right.
But everybody's got a story and a reason how they got here.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's fucked up the way that people. We've had mom's window broken on her RV. We've had our license plate stolen, our windows broken out of our car because we're homeless. And we were parked on the side of the 8th, and they decided they didn't want us parked by our homes. And people in the neighborhood broke our windows.
Right.
And that was about 3 months ago.
And that just is a constant.
It's a constant battle. Magnolia, we had somebody pull a gun because we ran an extension cord over their driveway. And it was an apartment complex, and we were running it to a friend's house, so we had power. And the apartment manager came out and pulled a gun on my husband and told him if he plugged in the extension cord again, he was going to kill him. And yeah, that was all bad. I was like, over an extension cord, you're going to shoot my husband over a fucking extension cord. I was like, that's a little petty. But apparently...
a little extreme. A lot extreme.
I learned in Seattle, people are quick to pull a gun faster than they are to throw down. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I've never seen so much gun violence. It's sad.
Denika, is there something that you'd want the people of Seattle to know?
I think it's wrong that they have so many of these nonprofit organizations, but there's no requirements for them to be looked into and kept supervised, that so much money gets squandered trying to help them. And then the homeless people suffer, and then we're made out to be pieces of shit because we're on the streets and stuff. But whenever we try to go and form groups so that we are in one area or something, we get ran out. And they want to put us in these beehive type things they were talking about, so that they have us in one area and can keep track of us. But they don't want to offer us the help. Like they said they had over, what was it, like $1.7 million to make tiny homes and help us get into places and whatnot. But yeah, when you look at the funding that's actually been used, it's not even a quarter of that's been used.
Yeah,
so where did all the money go for the housing?
There's something about there's a lot of money there. But
there's a lot of money missing.
Everyone's like, what do we do? I don't know.
There's also a lot of money missing.
Yeah.
I had one guy try to hire me onto his organization, and it was under the pretense that I was going to be helping him.
Uh-huh.
And I found out he was money laundering. He had stolen $1.6 million from a school.
Wow.
And I am so glad I did not help that man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I heard that and I was like, oh my God, Sean, I almost went to prison.
Yeah, that's criminal activity.
I was like, I don't look good in that green. I was like, I can't do it.
Well,
But
Denika, I guess I got a question too about your kids. Are you in contact with them? Do you talk to them?
I do. And it's hard because I want them home. And we have been trying to get housing. I was on the Lehigh program. They never gave me my caseworker. Nobody ever answers the phone or returns a call. And the housing people for the tiny homes, they don't ever... You get a phone call back sometimes, but tiny homes, it's really hard to get into. And it's almost like they pick and choose their favorites on who they house now. Hi, Scruffy. But I think it's sad that they put us all in this little bubble and they think that we're all the same riff-raff and bad people and shit. And not all of us are bad. Not all of us are doing what they think. And it's sad. My dog got stolen about almost a month ago by somebody who doesn't like me because I'm homeless and placed in a home, and I can't. That's my baby. And that is so wrong to do, and to take somebody's animal.
Well, how did that happen?
I had went to go park my car because I was parked in the parking lot right here, and the cop said we had to move because there's no parking, even though we had permission from the owners. He didn't know that. And so we went to move our car down the road, and I wasn't even gone 30 minutes actually. And I shut the door with the dogs inside, and somebody literally opened my door and took my dog. And I know who the person is, but the cops won't do anything about it. And they won't say anything. They won't tell me where my dog is, and that is so wrong.
Now, is this a person like a house person, unhoused, live in an RV?
It's a house person. They're a house person, and sometimes they hide out on the streets because they're stupid. I guess. I don't know. We know they have an apartment, but we've been finding them in the tents. They've been lurking around. But I guess they've been stealing people's dogs and rehoming them. There's a few of us that have got our dogs taken in over the last month. And so... Sean! Call Scruffy! So, Scruffy's had an attitude.
Your husband's over there?
Yeah, that's my husband. He has a hard time walking sometimes because of the blood clots. And he gets really sick sometimes. His legs swell up so bad because we stay in our car since we have nowhere to stay.
And that's where you guys are currently living?
Yeah.
In your car? How long has that been?
About a year now.
Wow.
About a year and a half since he got shot.
Wow.
And it's so bad for your health to sleep sitting upright and with your legs at that angle. And it could kill him. Especially having blood clots and stuff, it can literally kill him. And we've expressed that so many times to the people that do housing. And they hear it, but they don't care.
Yeah.
Scruffy Doo! My mom's on dialysis. That's my husband. Mom's on dialysis, and she's still got to do chemo and radiation.
Is your mom Tanya?
That's my mother-in-law.
Okay, gotcha.
She's got stage 2 cancer.
Yes.
And dialysis that she does. And when she's done with the dialysis, she can start the radiation, and then we can do the chemo. If she makes it that long. Yes,
Denika, what is it that you want or need?
I want my dog back more than anything, but...
What's your dog's name?
King Allen.
King
King Allen. He's a sweet little Benji Terrier. He's a dwarf puppy. He hasn't grown since he was 4 months old. I was told he's on 12th and Jackson. Oh. And somebody just seen him by the Compass Center. I guess they shaved him. It's so wrong.
Sorry.
You don't take somebody's animal. I've had that dog for 3.5 years. He's like my best friend.
Yeah.
He's like my kid more than anything.
Yeah, sure. Companion.
And his sister's so sad. She cries.
Oh, that's the sister. Yeah, got it.
She cries every time she finds one of his toys. And she will carry that thing around for the rest of the day crying. And it's sad. They've never been separated. But I don't understand how people are so cruel. I just want to get Sean and I off the streets. It's hard to go back to work because I've got Sean that has health issues and he can't always take care of himself. Mom, she has health issues and she can't always take care of herself. And sometimes she just chooses not to because she wants attention.
Yeah.
But, you know, we all have our issues.
Yeah. Denika, thanks for your time. It's good to hear your voice and part of your story. It's a lot.
I just want to get us into housing and off the streets and get our family back.
Me too.
So, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.